Have you ever wondered what happens when we die? This question has captured the human imagination for millennia, sparking countless debates, philosophies, and religions. One of the most pervasive beliefs is the existence of an afterlife, specifically, the dichotomy of heaven and hell. This concept, though prevalent, is not universal. It morphs and evolves, taking on unique characteristics as it travels through different cultures, traditions, and religions. Whether it's the Elysian fields of ancient Greece, the Christian concept of heaven and hell, or the Eastern idea of reincarnation, the afterlife has been a constant topic of human speculation. But what does this say about the nature of the divine? Is the allocation of eternal bliss or torment indicative of a fair or unfair God? In this video, we will explore the concept of heaven and hell and the fairness or lack thereof of God. So sit back, open your mind, and let's delve into this profound age-old enigma. Imagine a place of eternal bliss or eternal torment. Sounds fair? Let's delve deeper into this concept. The notions of heaven and hell have long been a part of human belief systems. These places are often portrayed as the ultimate reward and punishment for our actions in life, shaping how we conduct ourselves and the moral choices we make. Heaven, an eternal paradise, is depicted as a place of unending joy, peace, and fulfillment. The idea is that those who lead lives of virtue, kindness, and love receive this divine reward. It's like a cosmic pat on the back for a job well done, a life well lived. On the other hand, hell is portrayed as a realm of eternal torment and suffering, a dreaded destination for those who have committed grave wrongs. It serves as a deterrent, a stark warning against leading a life of vice and cruelty. The fear of this eternal punishment often acts as an invisible moral compass, guiding people away from wrongdoing. These concepts, heaven and hell, reward and punishment, play a significant role in how we perceive morality and justice. They provide a framework for our understanding of right and wrong, good and evil, influencing our actions and decisions in life. But let's consider this. Our lives are finite, while heaven and hell are eternal. Is it truly just to reward or punish an eternity based on the actions of a finite life, a life that is often influenced by circumstances beyond our control? Is it fair to determine someone's eternal fate based on their actions in a world that is often fraught with complexities and contradictions? These questions challenge the traditional views of heaven and hell, pushing us to reassess our understanding of divine justice. They invite us to explore the gray areas of morality and ethics, beyond the black and white dichotomy of reward and punishment. But is it really fair to determine an eternity based on a finite life? As we ponder these questions, we are led to deeper, more complex discussions about the nature of the divine, the afterlife, and the very essence of human morality. Many believe that God is fair, with every action we take having a consequence. This idea rests on a few key arguments that we'll explore in this segment. Firstly, there's the belief in divine justice. This concept proposes that God, being the ultimate judge, ensures that fairness prevails. It is a comforting idea, suggesting that good deeds will not go unnoticed and that wrongdoings will not go unpunished. Under this framework, the notion of heaven and hell becomes a manifestation of divine justice, rewarding virtue and punishing vice in equal measure. Next, let's consider God's omniscience. If God is all-knowing, then he understands our intentions and the context of our actions. This means that he sees beyond the superficial, grasping the true nature of our deeds. A kind word spoken with malice might fool others, but it cannot trick an omniscient God. Likewise, a harsh action taken out of love and concern might be misunderstood by people, but God knows the heart behind it. Therefore, his judgments are fair because they are based on a perfect understanding of our intentions. Finally, there's the argument of free will. This concept asserts that humans have the ability to make their own decisions, to choose between right and wrong. In this context, fairness is not about the outcome but about the opportunity. Each of us is given the same chance to make choices that lead to heaven or hell. It's not a predetermined fate, but a path we forge through our actions. These arguments paint a picture of a fair God, one who administers justice, understands our intentions, and respects our free will. It's a perspective that brings comfort and accountability, suggesting that our destiny is largely in our own hands. However, there's another side to this coin. We'll delve into that in the next segment. Stay tuned as we explore the arguments against the fairness of God. For others, the idea of an eternal punishment for a temporary life seems inherently unfair. This argument hinges on the concept that the punishment doesn't fit the crime, so to speak. We live in a world where justice systems strive for proportionality. So why would an all-loving God design an afterlife where temporary transgressions result in eternal consequences? This leads us to the concept of predestination, a belief held by some that God has already determined who will achieve salvation and who will not. If predestination is true, then some argue that it seems unfair for God to blame us for actions and decisions preordained by Him. How can free will truly exist, and how can we be held accountable if our paths are already set in stone? Next, let's consider the problem of evil and suffering. If God is all-powerful and all-loving, why does He allow evil and suffering to exist in the world? Some argue that this is evidence of God's unfairness. If God truly loved His creations, wouldn't He want to protect them from harm? Finally, let's explore the discrepancy between finite sins and infinite punishment. If God is truly just, wouldn't He proportion the punishment to fit the sin? A life, no matter how long, is finite. So how does it make sense for finite sins committed in a finite life to warrant infinite punishment? This seems to contradict our understanding of justice and fairness. These are some of the arguments that challenge the fairness of God. They present a complex and thought-provoking perspective on the concepts of predestination, evil, suffering, and the proportionality of sins and punishment. They invite us to question and to seek a deeper understanding of the divine. So, where does this leave us? As we grapple with these questions, we are challenged to reevaluate our understanding of God, justice, and the afterlife. This discourse isn't meant to provide definitive answers, but rather to stimulate thought and discussion. In the end, perhaps it's the journey of questioning and seeking that truly matters. These debates raise questions about morality, justice, and our understanding of life and death. As we delve into the implications of these arguments, we find ourselves at the juncture of existential questions and personal beliefs. The discourses around heaven and hell and the fairness of God do not merely stay confined to theological debates, rather, they seep into our worldview, shaping our behavior and our sense of justice. Imagine for a moment the psychological landscape of an individual who firmly believes in the existence of heaven and hell. This belief, in essence, introduces a system of ultimate reward and punishment, which could act as a moral compass guiding every decision, every action. It could, arguably, inspire virtuous behavior, kindness, and empathy, all in the hopes of achieving that divine reward. On the contrary, it could also breed fear, anxiety, and a sense of impending doom. The fear of eternal damnation could overshadow the joys of life, leading to a constant state of worry and guilt. The scales could tip either way, depending on one's interpretation of these concepts. Then, consider the implications of questioning God's fairness. This challenges the very foundation of our understanding of justice. If God, who is traditionally perceived as the embodiment of justice, is questioned, it could lead to a radical shift in perspective. It could instigate a journey towards redefining morality, towards finding an alternate sense of justice, one that is not rooted in fear, but perhaps in love, empathy, and equality. However, it's crucial to remember that these are interpretations, reflections of our individual perspectives. They are influenced by our experiences, our upbringing, our encounters with faith, and our personal journey of understanding. The beauty of this discourse lies in its ability to provoke thought, to compel us to question, to seek, and to understand. It's a testament to our inherent curiosity, our insatiable quest for knowledge, and our relentless pursuit of truth. Regardless of where you stand, it's a reflection of our quest for understanding. Whether you believe in heaven and hell or question the fairness of God, these are profound philosophical questions. As we've explored in our discussion, these age-old debates are complex and layered. We've considered the concepts of heaven and hell as ultimate reward and punishment, and the different viewpoints on God's fairness. We've examined arguments both for and against the fairness of God, each with compelling reasoning. The implications of these beliefs and their impact on our lives and the world around us are vast. It's clear that these aren't black and white issues, but multifaceted debates that require critical thinking and empathy. Balancing faith, morality, and our understanding of justice is a personal journey, one that invites introspection and dialogue. So let's continue to reflect, to question, and to engage with these compelling spiritual quandaries. In the end, perhaps the true value lies not in the answers but in the questions themselves.